Welcome back to The Watch.
And what did we just watch, Nathan?
We watched Kenobi Episode 2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So, is anyone going to say it, or is I just going to come say it?
You go.
It was such an incredible, amazing show. It was the best thing I've ever seen. No continuity errors or writing errors or anything.
It was perfect in every way.
It was amazing.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Sarcasm is killed. No, this episode went off a cliff. Holy crap.
This episode went parkour and then fell down, just like Bravo.
Oh my goodness. There are a lot of issues in this episode, and we're going to go into them all. But before we do that, I want to do some follow-up from the last review on some of the things that you guys in the comments are saying, and also some clarification, also views that my opinions have evolved a bit on after hearing people's discussion. So, couple of things. First of all, we have Oz, what did you think of episode 2 quickly?
Oh, it sucked. Just as bad as the first one. It's all boring. I don't like it.
Okay, so, first thing I want to have a bit of a discussion on, the Leia thing. And we have a bit more context now with this episode about, is she too smart or isn't she too smart? I'm a little... I'm a little on the fence. Okay?
I am not.
I'm not? Alright. There are two things that... I get the arguments, which is the two smart arguments, okay? There are two things that I run into when I consider this. One is you can have young prodigy characters that are very smart for their age. So even if it's unrealistic, there are exceptions, and I don't think it's out of the realm of reason to write Leia this way a bit for one other thing that I consider, and it's the fact that her mother, only 4 years older than Leia is now, was queen. And so, to me, that kind of sets up a bit of a continuity that her mum was really smart young, and it kind of makes sense if Leia is really smart young.
Developmentally, though, there is a very big difference between 10 and 14.
You think that a big jump? Like,
Yes,
ready to be queen and lead a nation?
If you're talking about
That's primary
fractionally...
school versus high school.
Yeah, and fractionally, that's 60% of their life. Sorry. Well, no, 40%. I'm retarded. There you go.
Again, I'm a bit on the fence, because I think the argument has weight. I think it can go either way.
My issue was less on her actual intelligence and more how quickly her character kind of changed from scene to scene. One scene she'd be analysing someone and saying, oh, all of this, and the next thing she'd be like asking questions that a little kid would make.
But in this episode, she goes from making the biggest logical leap and the greatest, deductive skills, better than Sherlock Holmes, to that is the dumbest thing you could possibly say, one sentence after the next.
You're actually absolutely right.
Yeah.
Leia does, in this episode, one of the most astronomically stupid things, but beggars belief. I can't believe... and if they're trying to set her up as this smart kid, why... well, actually, she does more than one dumb thing. She does multiple dumb things, but one in particular is crazy dumb.
She didn't even need to fight, run away. She could have fought. She could have just been like, first, discombobulate. And then... She was really smart.
I couldn't... I'm in a bit of awe as to what's one major thing Leia does in this episode. We'll get to that. In terms of... if she is smart, you would have to write her consistently smart, yet she does some really dumb things. So there's the big issue I have. The next thing is that I have a very big issue in regards to Leia. Her reading people, to me, is very clearly Force reading. She's using the Force to sense people's emotions.
I think that's dumb.
Well, this is the thing. If it is, this breaks canon.
Yeah.
She is supposed to have no connection or understanding or use of the Force at all until into the Prime Trilogy, okay? And she only starts to figure out that she can sense and feel things all the way when the Death Star blows up in Return of the Jedi, and then it's like, I'm sure Luke wasn't on that. He wasn't. I can feel it. That's when she's just starting to use the Force. By context, that's pretty clear, I feel.
But also, they're just making her do it's not the Force thing, they're just trying to make her look smart.
To me, it's a bit of both then, I think. They do want her to look super smart, but I think she's Force reading people. But if she is, that breaks canon in a big way.
Either way, there's something real forced about it.
Yes. So, again, summarising that point, I'm on the fence about if you... Prodigy, mum being 14 years old, queen, everything... but that causes issues with the consistency and also forceability, and that is massive issues for the show. So, okay, first episode things. All right. This isn't related to this episode, but it's also related to last episode. Obi-Wan not using having used the Force for 10 years, burying the lightsaber. Thought about this a bit more. This is a problem.
Yeah, we thought the same thing.
For multiple reasons. First, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. You're nodding there, Nathan.
So with Kenobi using the Force?
Well, this show is saying he has not used the Force for 10 years. He's buried the lightsaber. He's been living as a hermit.
The Force isn't a muscle. It's like a radio station.
That's the analogy I
Tune in
used.
to 99.9
Yeah.
Force.
All right. When Obi-Wan and Yoda separated, do you remember what Yoda said to Obi-Wan?
Further training I have for you.
Yeah.
Ways to commune with your old master.
Bang.
Yeah.
Right there. In actual fact, Obi-Wan should be doubling down in Force and training to learn this super important technique, which we see him do in A New Hope, which is Force ghost himself away. Like, that's a huge thing. This is actually confirmed in other elements and supplementary material, okay? In Rebels, Obi-Wan actually confronts Darth Maul, and they fight. And Obi-Wan smacks... remember how hard it was to fight Darth Maul? When he was, like, still really good training, everything like that? Then they meet again, and Obi-Wan smacks down Darth Maul like a beer.
In one move.
Like, bang! I think it was 2, but it was like that suit. That was just... And just destroys Darth Maul, implying that he is like on a new level, Obi-Wan now. He is more controlled and focused.
On a new level, you could say he has the high ground.
Yeah. And then...
And then...
It's even contradicted in the show when he says that Luke needs to be trained, implying that Jedi training is important.
Like he trained his father?
Like he trained his father.
He can't help it.
So, the fact that they're saying Obi-Wan has not touched the Force or thought of the Force is, again, contradicting canon.
Make it sound like a woman there.
Big problem. But some people have tried to... I was reading comments, I was reading the discussion. Somebody said, no, he's not using the Force because that would make him... the bad Jedis would be able to sense him using the Force.
It's not the One Ring.
It's not Dragon Ball Z either. That's not how... The Force has never been shown to work this way. In Dragon Ball
That's not how the Force works.
That's a Disney thing.
But it was...
It works.
Hey, Harrison Ford. It was... I'll give him that line.
Well, no, yeah.
So, in Dragon Ball Z, you sense people using the power because of ki and energy, and the bigger the power, the bigger they sense it.
And in Wheel of Time.
This isn't that. Like, in all of Star Wars, or well, at least the official stuff, right? Not Disney fake fic bullcrap, is you don't actually sense people using the Force.
You sense their inherent power.
Not even, like, I wouldn't even say that. In most cases where I reflect back and try and think about when they recognize other people's Force abilities, it is by recognizing them using it, not sensing it. They see the effects.
But also, they never say, as far as I can remember, I feel your power. They always say, I can feel your anger, your emotion, stuff like that.
Yes, that's the key. Jedi can sense emotion, and, this is very important, familial presence. Okay? That's the key. If you have a really, really strong connection, you will sense someone's presence, even if they're, like, on the other side of the planet. This is established in Our Return to the Jedi, when we don't know how far away the ship is, but Vader is on a Super Star Destroyer at a pretty far distance. In space, they're far distances. Luke is on the ship that they're trying to get onto Endor with, and Vader instantly senses his presence. When Obi-Wan goes on the Death Star, I sense a presence I've not felt in... Vader wasn't thinking, I sense a powerful Force user or something like that. No, he senses the familial connection, the presence. In terms of just not... What?
So we're thinking, why do my legs and arms hurt all of a sudden? Is it getting hot in here?
In terms of sensing Force ability, the closest I can think of is when Vader is in the TIE fighter hunting down Luke, and he says the Force is strong with this one. But to me, I feel that's actually his noting the skill that Luke is portraying, and is like, this type of skill is only affected by people who can use the Force.
But you said familiar connection. Well, what about familial connection? Because that's literally his son. So
true, good point. Yeah. But the thing is, though, Vader doesn't know Luke is his son. Then
but that's why it's feelings.
Yeah, it's revealed in Empire Strikes Back when the Emperor says, "They are the offspring of Anakin Skywalker."
And then he says, that's not true. No, Vader doesn't say that, but what does Vader say to that?
Perhaps if we get him... Something like if we get him to join, he could be a powerful ally.
But I thought, what do you call it? Emperor said to Vader at some point, search your feelings, something like that. You know it to be true.
No, that's Vader to Luke.
I know that Vader to Luke says that, but I thought the Emperor said it to Vader. Whatever.
Perhaps. Vader only learns about Leia in Return of the Jedi when he's fighting Luke. So, again, emotion. I'm going to come back to this emotional thing, right? Because they try to use that in this episode, and I'm insulted by the way that they try and use it, because it is just failed completely. And so, when Qui-Gon meets Anakin, he doesn't really... He can't sense Anakin's Force ability. He has to send a midi-chlorian count. And he remarks on Anakin's ability. And he is thinking, these abilities are greater than the average person. This is indicating Force sensitivity. Even when there's like... pod racing is seen very fast, very dangerous. I'm the only human you can do it. You must have Jedi abilities. And then he, catches the tongue. Again, if it was so easy to just sense Force ability, he would know instantly.
Yep.
Okay, so... So the argument that Obi-Wan needed to stop using the Force so other evil Jedi could sense his presence, no. He should have been training with the Force, still up there and everything.
So just think, if Vader just took one day to step foot on Tatooine, would have been screwed.
Yes, that's true. Which is, technically, this is why he picked an outer rim planet that's like the arse end of nowhere. Maybe did he pick Tatooine because Vader would never want to return to
because
where
of the
he came
emotional
from?
baggage that comes from
that?
That might be a good...
As well as wanting to stay away from his past, and there's tons of sand there.
It gets everywhere.
I wouldn't want to get that in the suit.
Tell you what, though, I feel
He's more machine now than man, and we know what sand does.
To be honest, I feel like Vader would have shown up there with the Death Star just for the sand people alone. He really did not like them. Not just the men, not just the women and children
next
too,
Tatooine.
but the entire bloody planet.
So... the scene where Leia and...
The actor,
The actor, he watches us.
Now, we didn't comment on him in the thing, but let's just say he had a great performance, Oscar-worthy.
Because we didn't call him out on anything.
Because there's nothing to call him out on, because he played it really well.
I wish you a long and illustrious career, and the criticisms we have on this show is not you as an individual, okay?
You did a great job, not even kidding.
Okay.
Teach everyone else, eh?
So, the last one, we had a bit of a big discussion last time as to the Inquisitor and if she knew Leia was Anakin's daughter. After watching this episode, I think it's pretty much confirmed that she doesn't know that Leia is Anakin's
Doesn't
daughter.
mean you were right in your arguments, though.
Which arguments?
You said that serving with and served is semantic. They're completely different.
Yeah, I still think that. You know
think it's
why?
still semantic?
For instance, take Saving Private Ryan, right? And you take one of the soldiers underneath him, and then they're reflecting back about Tom Hanks's character and say, we served together in the war.
Yeah, but that was a soldier with a soldier, not a soldier with a senator.
No, but this is the thing. Saying you served with someone does not exclude that they could have fought together, which is the argument you're making.
One's a senator,
one's a soldier. But the other thing is, the senator in question actually did fight.
Yeah, but we don't have context for that in this thing. We had to get that from other people.
Yeah, but
I'm going by what they've shown me and what I've seen from the prequels.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's what I mean. Why it's not an issue as to if they use served or fought with. When
a soldier might find that have a different interpretation.
No, I think if the Saving Private Ryan person said I served with him in the war, that does not exclude them having fought. Which is the argument I think you're making.
If it's politician versus a soldier and a soldier.
But politicians can fight in war. There's many examples.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Julius Caesar. You did a great job.
Yeah, I know. But so therefore, saying the politician argument doesn't exclude him being having fought in the war.
I disagree completely. Served and served with are two different things. There's a very clear distinction because served means you serve someone else. Served with means you serve.
So when
fighting
that
with
someone says I served with Saving Private Ryan, that means they did not fight.
That's an odd name for a soldier.
No,
My
but
name is
it's
Saving Private Ryan.
I'm referring it to the example I'm giving. If they said, yeah, I served with the
No,
Tom
because
Hanks
they're still
character.
two soldiers. There's a difference. Even then, like back in the old days, when if you were a line not a line officer, but like a infantryman without rank and non-commissioned, and you were next to an officer, that was a very different distinction. They didn't even see themselves as the same species.
Yeah, but I think you're making an assumption that it means that they didn't fight. When in this context, because we know the greater context, they did fight together.
Because using the word served versus served with is not semantics. There's different meaning.
I think
if you've served someone, you have worked for them.
No.
But if you served with someone, you've worked with them.
in this instance, I think it's a semantical difference because we know in general context that they did fight as well.
We don't know
So,
that in
so
general
getting hung up on it, I feel, is getting caught on semantics.
I'm not the one that brought it up again.
Well, no, the reason why I brought it up because it was a big argument or discussion in the last video, and people are commenting. I think it's a good follow-up on because this episode specifically does contextualize that my criticism of the last episode is that she specifically kidnapped Leia because she thought the connection between the Organas, what's the guy's name? Bail had a connection with Obi-Wan, and that's confirmed when she is met in the with the senator. He says, "You dare kidnap a senator's daughter?" And she says, "I found a connection between
The archives, yeah.
him and Organa in the archives." To me, that's like such a massive stretch because Obi-Wan fought with so many people in the war, and so she just happened to. Yeah, there was like to me to reach the point where this could flush out a hiding Jedi. The connection between Obi-Wan and Bail would need to be like they were brothers. And to me, I don't think that would be recorded in the archives. He was a senator that supported the Jedi, that got in some conflicts, but there was a whole hell of other people that he fought with. That to assume, if I kidnap the daughter, we'll flush him out. To me, that wasn't. Yeah, that was just a massive Mary Sue moment where I'll just make this random, horrible plan that in reality would have zero chance of success, but then works perfectly.
We picked up on something that made that even stupider. So they both started on Tatooine, right? The Sith and Obi-Wan. Then she organised the kid to be kidnapped and taken. But when she did that, she was on a ship talking to the kidnappers, right? Mm-hmm. Why did she arrive at the planet last? After Obi-Wan?
Well, let's get into the episode here because just in the very beginning, the opening of this episode has something astronomically dumb. And as Obi-Wan says, I was tracking this signal of this ship. And I'm like, hang on, these guys just knowingly kidnapped someone, okay? You would think their main intention would be to not be able to be tracked. It's established in Star Wars, to track a ship, you usually need to put a tracker on the ship like they did with Millennium Falcon when they escaped the Death Star. And so if they are sending out a signal to be tracked, that should be like warning signs to Obi-Wan, these kidnappers are sending out a signal that's making me easy to track them to the planet. Oh, it's a trap.
That's a trap.
It's a trap. That would be the only conclusion if they're that easy to find. And the contrivances that happen when he lands is next level stuff. That was one specific, and I do want to go into more specifics, but before we do that, I'd like to then step back, broad views of the episode now. Impressions.
Boring. Lots of wasted opportunities. So many wasted opportunities. Things that could have been solved much more simply, but also cleverly, like if they just went the simpler route. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I found the Inquisitors to be quite annoying and quite a confusing group of people.
And they've got
Yeah.
their personalities are so like one-dimensional that we literally have nicknames for them now.
Yeah. And then Leia, again, was back and forth, either being the smartest little 10-year-old or the most annoying little 10-year-old.
It's
half
a
the
roller
time.
coaster
I'd say
IQ.
she was the most annoying the whole time.
It made her annoying that she was
Yeah.
both annoying and smart.
I think people are going to like this episode more generally because it has action, and it's the Disney
I
thing.
didn't even think it had that much action,
Parkour!
honestly. Oh, the
The parkour.
oh my gosh.
I think some of the moves looked impressive, but it was wasted and pointless.
Yeah, she did a somersault to a building
Like, you don't...
in the middle of night.
You could have just
Why was she
stepped.
on the roof?
Well, she put out the bounty on Obi-Wan, like, planet-wide,
Still up like Batman.
and then, if this is planet-wide, and this is obviously, like, almost a Coruscant-like planet with, like, buildings everywhere, she just assumed standing on this building, any gunfire would happen in her vicinity that she could see. It might have been on the other side of the city.
Well, that's the
Happens
thing, though.
to be on a roof.
That's the thing, though. Obi-Wan just happened to land in the exact city, basically within the exact district that the thing was at. So
Yes. This, again, Coruscant-sized planet. The population would be insane.
what was this planet called again?
I forget.
So there's Coruscant, and then this one's called Contrived.
Blade Runner.
Later.
Cyberpunk, yeah.
You made a good point,
Look like
Oz. It would
Blade Runner.
make more sense to kidnap Leia and take her to like Tatooine.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
what I
very
said.
Desolate, isolate. You know, you could find Kenobi on a more desolate planet.
'cause there's
Like, go
less
to
people,
a
less
big,
hiding spots.
dense city.
Oh, but then Obi-Wan lands another desert planet. Oh no!
So,
'Cause of
the thing that
season.
they could justify Obi-Wan being able to track Leia, as soon as he gets on the same planet, you could justify that Jedi familial sense. He could sense, I reckon, out of it, like Leia maybe, you know, daughter of one of the closest friends he's ever had, he might be able to sense Leia's presence if he really looked for it.
Plus, he's met her before as a baby.
Yes,
So
this
there
is
you
also
go.
true.
That, you know.
But instead, he just says, I'm looking for this ship. Oh, we don't let him, like, there shouldn't be no tracker on the ship anyway. And so him finding the planet that they landed on is like, okay, now I know the Sith lady wants him to find, you know, it's a trap, but sending out a signal would be so blatantly obvious, he would tip him off.
Yeah.
And so they would have needed to set up something to justify Obi-Wan knowing this is the planet that they went to. Far better than what they did than just tracking, which breaks canon, because now what, you can track any ship? Any
Yeah.
signal?
They should have just done it. Oh, we were tracking her droid.
Gosh,
Like
it'd be so much easier for the Empire to track the Millennium Falcon then, to find the Rebel base if they could just track ships, right? Holy crap. They even make a big deal out of this in whatever, the bad one, Last Jedi. Is it
bad
Last
one.
Jedi?
You're talking about the Disney era?
Yeah, I know, they're
so
all
there's
bad.
3 potential movies there.
The Last Jedi, where they can hyperspace track now. It's like, so they even established in a really bad film that tracking a ship without a special thing is difficult. And the fact that the First Order gets hyperspace tracking is like a game-breaking thing. But here they can just do it because they don't freaking care about canon. Who's writing this crap? We saw the warning signs episode 1, and now it's just full blown. This is where they really put their talent on display. And when we say that, lack, so thereof. And it's just one small example of problems throughout this whole episode. And contrivance upon contrivance. He lands, right? I look for this thing, gets approached by a drug dealer. Okay.
And
A
hey,
little boy.
yeah, speaking of contrived, what are the odds that actor Ewan McGregor, the first person he walks into is the daughter of Ewan McGregor?
Is it?
That's his daughter, yeah.
Oh, I
But
didn't
how
know that.
contrived is that?
I didn't have an issue with the actor. And being approached by a drug dealer, hey, it can happen. I would have much preferred to see death sticks again.
And actually,
Spice.
That's actually pretty rare for you to just be out in the town and someone approaches you and says, "Hey, would you like to buy some drugs?" Like, depends. Show me your badge first.
I've got the drugs. Do you want drugs?
I have the druguments.
The thing that kind of like threw me is like, then she goes, oh, you're sad, I'm sad, here's a convenient plot device you'll lose later. And that I give to you for free. Like, it's drugs, Obi-Wan! Even if she handed it to him, you say, I don't, like, you think Obi-Wan would be like, yeah, I'll keep it, it's drugs. Like, he only keeps it because the plot is like a potential thing that happens later, very conveniently.
That breaks character too.
It does, it breaks you,
Because-
he wouldn't accept drugs!
He'd be like, "Go home and rethink your life."
Exactly!
He's been very passive in that sense since episode 1 and 2.
And it's a drug dealer. I don't think she would give away an expensive drug. Like, this is probably worth a lot of money.
Yeah, drugs typically are expensive.
But-
You don't need any experience to know that.
And so she just gives it away for free because you're sad and looking for daughter. I feel like daughter. And then that conversation, again, contrivance upon contrivance, just conveniently happened to be with earshot of the boy that's connected with one of the few people in the city who would be able to find the location of Leia.
Who somehow survived pretending to be a Jedi,
Yeah, that as well.
which probably gets you killed.
Like, with how much the Jedi is being hunted, the fact that it's that's easy to find someone posing as a Jedi, I just can't believe this.
If I was in Nazi Germany and I was just like, "By the way, I am a Jew. What can I do for you, friend? Well, I can help you get that loan. Need a lawyer? Here I am."
You do that accent better than I expected.
Shalom. Lots of practice makes perfect, friend.
You've been in the sacramental line again, haven't you? That one's Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh, okay.
I love that movie. When
That is not kosher.
They replace Friar Tuck with...
I learned from Cookie on Discord.
That's great. Yeah, like contrivance upon contrivance, this setup, that's just utter crap. So yeah, if we come to a part chronologically that you do have a note on, please cut me off and share it because I want to hear it.
What'd you think of the clone, the homeless clone?
I felt that was actually good. I was like,
I
context,
liked it.
acknowledgement of past.
However, people wouldn't know that that's a 501st, one of the ones that went directly into the Jedi Temple and killed Jedi. So what I thought is, if he turned around and saw that, maybe he could have got a flash of PTSD and we could have seen.
Yeah,
Because he got the blue.
I do admit that.
I didn't get it. I just thought he was talking to a homeless person.
Yeah, but that's like literally the people who killed everyone that he cared about.
Well, then that says a lot that he gave money to him, because
Yeah.
I was wondering, would Obi-Wan be a bit salty that the clones wiped out the Jedi after
I think he'd
the
be
Order?
conflicted because he served with them as
He-
well.
he
was
got
best
really
friends
close with
them.
someone.
Yeah.
Well, he probably knows that they had the chip in their head
Yeah.
at this point.
So I think, okay, it could be in as a character to still give the money and
But
feel
yeah,
sorry for him.
I feel
I
like it
didn't
could have
get
been
any background feelings.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why it
I
should have
did.
been. They should have done a little flash, and that could have been a nice emotional beat. Yeah.
Good.
Also, Kenobi shows so much of his face when he's like trying to stay hidden. He's
so-
just-
Yeah, you're right. One of the first big things I got from this is like he's trying to hide being a Jedi, and he decides to dress almost exactly like a Jedi.
Yeah.
Hood and all.
But then, and it goes back to the
Dressed
Leia
like
thing.
a Jedi.
Oh, you got that?
So he shows up at the planet, gets into a disguise to get into the thing, which has a face mask on it, and then when his face gets broadcast to all the bounty hunters, he takes it off.
And
Gets
that,
back to Jedi uniform.
I'm glad you brought. I thought that as well. It's like, okay, now there's a bounty. Everyone has your face. It's not uncommon in the Star Wars universe for people to just wear helmets and masks, and not people think that is not out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
It's like, where is the brains? Obi-Wan. Like, it's the writers, I know, but they're making these characters look like utter morons. It was like, yeah, just put on a mask.
We figured out
Sorry.
it would have been simpler than that. You know how he knocked out that bounty hunter who had the thing on his thing, with the hologram? If he grabbed that hologram, wore it, and walked around while looking at it, he'd
No one's
get
gonna
away.
look at him.
What kind of man hunts himself? Oh wait, the Jedi do. The Jedi hunt themselves. They cannot help
It
it.
is a prophecy fulfilled. Yeah. And they've written themselves in a bit of a problem because of Mandalorian with the puck things. Like, if pucks just like they're DNA trackers.
They somehow
almost.
track you across the galaxy.
And so, in reality, even if he wore a helmet, like there are pucks in this universe. Like, though the pucks. No, this is the same
Don't you
time
need to
period.
encode
Hang on.
someone?
I'm getting confused in time period. This is the same time period.
No, it's later.
Later. No, so this is before the fall of the Empire, so maybe pucks went around. That's the only justification.
Well, even
they
then,
can
they
say.
could have put a tracker on Leia
Yeah.
or her droid.
And sorry, no, the pucks had the image. It was the fobs that had they were like DNA trackers, like do.
But they
So-
could have done that to Leia, just put a tracker on
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
The script has a lot of one-liners that are very contradictory. For example, when his daughter, playing a drug dealer, says, "You'll never find her. No one leaves this place." Wouldn't that imply they're easier to find if no one ever leaves?
Yeah, it's a good point.
What if you put them on like a conveyor belt?
And it is funny. You'll never find her, and he finds her so damn easy, like within hours.
She must have
almost.
been working for the Empire. First hurdle they put in his way.
And there's a lot of things like, "You're the least of us. You think the less you say, the less you give away, but you're giving away everything." Just all these one-liners that have
No, wait. She doesn't say that. She says, you think that the less you say, the less you give away, but it's actually the opposite.
Oh,
But what if
okay.
I say nothing? You should play poker, little girl. Like,
Yeah, I know. It's like,
The script is full of a lot of one-liners. It's not conversation. It's just one-liners.
Yeah.
I say one thing, you say one thing.
They're called-
There's no discussion.
they're called non sequiturs. When you say something that isn't connected to anything else that's been said.
I like
Some
salmon.
of
It
the
tastes
bad
really
guys.
good.
My favourite colour is blue. It actually is, though. And that isn't something I wouldn't say in a conversation.
Speaking about the Inquisitors, there were like 3 non sequiturs in a row.
Yeah, I'm very gifted.
The Inquisitors, right? Let's just quickly. This is all bit follow up that I missed from last, and this. They're actually not supposed to be that strong in the Force, okay? But this episode is showing something that we'll get to it chronologically, that only a high-level Jedi or Sith, really well-trained, should be able to do. And she just whips... Again, it's the Mary Sue crap with this... So anyway, we'll get there. But it annoys me at how tough and crazy they're portraying these Inquisitors. When they should be Sith light. Diet Sith. Like, they just use lightsabers to look intimidating. And they kind of showed this in other things. Like, in Rebels... someone mentioned in the comments, a Jedi trainee beats like a Sith Inquisitor. Okay?
And Obi-Wan had his lightsaber that whole time. It's such a missed opportunity. Could you imagine if he took on Reva and the other dude?
He should have just... This is Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
He beat Anakin in his prime. Like,
yeah.
And people say, oh, he wasn't training. Well, that's a plot hole. He should have been training because he smacks down Darth Maul without even trying.
Yoda literally gave him homework last time they were talking.
It's frustrating. You were going to say something, Nathan, as well.
Mine wasn't about the Inquisitors. Mine was about his hand-to-hand combat.
Oh, yeah, we like
the
that.
Thugs.
I like that as well.
He actually... Well, Oz told me, using our own... You say what I say, and I say what you say in
and
videos.
And then you explain it.
And then I explain it. Exactly.
Yeah, so Kenobi is a master of the defensive form.
Yeah, and so when he fought, he
redirecting,
didn't hit them. Yeah.
Is that jujitsu?
There was one moment... I'm not sure if you could really pull this off. You need more weight, but he does he throws and then he pulls someone in and then clotheslines them and stuff.
Yeah.
There was some. I was glad that they didn't show Obi-Wan completely incompetent in this episode. He could still fight. He should be way stronger though. He shouldn't be disconnected from the Force. There was one thing I also liked in this episode in regards to Obi-Wan's fighting. He was actually not a great shot with the blaster.
Well,
And
wait a
civilized.
he doesn't like blasters. I think that's really consistent.
Yeah, but the fact that there's two guys standing out in the open in no cover, and he's shooting within 3 inches of them, and it's always in the same spot. It misses always 3 inches to the left, 3 inches to the right, but he can't hit dead. Come on now.
He did hit Grievous
eventually.
3 times.
To me, I was perfectly happy to accept. Yeah, he could be a bad shot. The other guys were also really bad shots, and they're bounty hunters. And there I was like,
But Obi-Wan was in cover.
Yes, true.
And
Tight
it's
cover
Star
too.
Wars.
And it was nighttime.
So moving on chronologically, then is there anything else you want to mention about the opening scenes?
There was some really bad green screen in this.
Yeah.
There's some parts where you could
Really?
just tell
It was so
him.
dark, it was hard for me to see.
Yeah.
This was one of those annoying dark episodes.
Yeah.
Where you're just like,
And it was in moments where they could just have a set and problem solved.
So there were definitely parts where I was taken out from that.
How
Yeah.
does she know about the lightsaber?
Yeah, because they were all killed the day before she was born. So, probably a few days before, maybe a week.
Doesn't make sense that her parents would keep her so sheltered, but tell her about Jedis.
At first, my first impression was is dressed like a Jedi. It's really easy to identify. But then I was like, if they're trying to wipe out Jedi knowledge, but then she specifically says it when she sees the lightsaber.
She calls him a Jedi, and then spends the rest of the episode accusing him of not being a Jedi.
That's one of the big dum-dum moments. We'll come to that chronologically. Okay, so the next thing is, the boy takes him to the fake Jedi guy. And look, this is a personal thing, okay? But the actor, he has a lisp that annoys me.
Oh, really? You don't like this?
Have you noticed? Did anyone
What's
notice
wrong
that?
with that?
Look, just...
Danny Glover had a list.
Okay. I'm not saying you can't have a character with a lisp. When an actor has a lisp, he's playing the same character. He's playing the exact same character he did out of Eternals.
Yeah.
And I've only watched half of Eternals, and he's just trying to be this flippant, funny guy where his lines don't land.
That's his one role.
Vin
I don't
Diesel.
think that's a lisp thing, though.
Vin
I think
Diesel
that's
plays
just
it.
the character
it is.
he plays thing.
But sometimes actors play the same character. Vin Diesel, they get typecast.
It's true,
Yeah.
it's true. Maybe this
Just
could be
playing
just
a
a
comic
bigotry I
character.
have, okay? And look, that's on me.
Why are you so racist,
I
Shad?
know, I'm so bigoted against lisps. Don't you think it makes someone sound...
You're racist.
Look, it's cute when a kid
Elizabeth.
does it, okay?
Elizabeth.
No, it's racist.
It's cute when a kid does it, but it's hard to take a... Look, this guy was played as a joke, so,
If my kid had a lisp, they get...
Can you imagine
they get
Darth
surgery.
Vader having a lisp?
Look, I am your father.
Father.
I sense the
Father.
presence.
Yes.
Something I haven't felt since... You sense a pheasant? Delicious, master.
I don't mind him hamming up pretending to be a Jedi where I'm going to use the Jedi. It does make it kind of obvious, though, if you know anything about the Jedi, and so maybe it'd be pretty easy to detect, who this idiot is. So it's hard to tell what they're trying to say about this guy. If he's ripping off people to then betray him, but no, he actually is sending people an underground smuggling thing. He's just charging a chunk for it, but that kind of does it. And what, by posing as a Jedi, he will attract more people?
And also, that's like typically people smugglers do charge a fee.
They do.
They just don't pretend to have superpowers when they do it.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, was it necessary? And then, again, is it by pretending to be a Jedi, people think he'll help me and they're attracted more to it?
Now
I
draw
thought
Luke
it was
staring
kind
at
of
it.
just a Jedi fanboy.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is like that counts towards why he would help Obi-Wan instead of attack him, because if he's a fanboy, he's already
And
pretending.
he says, "Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me? I would have helped you straight away."
Maybe, if he's posing as a Jedi, he should know how Jedis look. And he's like, Obi-Wan walks in and he's
Because he was dressed like a Jedi.
Like,
How'd you get in? Strange man.
No, Obi-Wan has plot armor right now in his disguise as a Jedi.
and if Obi-Wan is willing to threaten and to get what he wants, when he's approached by the drug lady person, what he could have said is like, actually, I want lots of drugs. Who's your dealer? And then he could go up the chain to find the underground, because his line, a rat knows where rats hide or something like that. That is actually, there's a vein of logic there. And so instead of just luckily being approached by this kid, if he sought out the underground and then he's tough and he like threatens him and gets the leader and with a gun to his head, you should know all the racketeering that's going on in the city. Lead me. There's a through line.
Could you imagine Obi-Wan trying to threaten a street punk? Like,
Hello
show me
there.
where the drugs are, you punk! I'll blast you.
Hello there. Now show me where the drugs are.
Oh man.
So the guy just then knows where Leia is, basically, is what I like. Yeah,
Because there's only one place she could be for some reason.
over a whole city.
Yep.
There's only one place this sort of thing goes down in a city of crime and...
Well, they had a
Colony,
monopoly
yeah.
on crime on that location. It's like the one meth lab.
And they're just making the spice drug stuff. I actually thought he picked up this drug bomb there when my first watching.
That would have made more sense.
It would have made more sense. It would have
Instead of,
made
hey, free drugs.
Yeah, it would have made Obi-Wan clever. He's preparing. Is like, this is a distraction thing, and he just palms it to the side. But no, in the second watch, he's like, oh, it was just convenient. Here's plot device. You'll need this later. Drugs, yes, I'll keep drugs.
It's not death sticks.
Yep.
It could be funny if he grabs by I could get so much on Tatooine for this. I know a guy.
He just... It's like, my horse thing is going to get so high.
The desert is boring.
Okay, and then I'm trying to remember, he goes into a room and it's the wrong room because then they
They spill the whole plan to him and say, ha ha ha, it was a trap, Obi-Wan.
yeah, they do the whole.
But he just happens to
sorry, he
find-
did fight a couple of people to get there.
Yeah, true,
there was
yeah.
some
But
of
then they
that-
came back in through the door behind him.
But he beat one guy up and then grabbed the other guy and said, "Where's the girl?" And the guy gave him the wrong room. I'd go straight back to the guy and beat him up some more. Where's the real girl?
And so yeah, they put the guns to him, and just conveniently, he's got to get out of, problem device, and. I don't know. It's a bit of a trope in film movies where it's like, smoke bomb! They had guns to him if they just pulled the trigger right away when they see him. Anyway.
But they're getting high.
It'd be funny if he throws it before he gets with it. Actually, I'm staying it here.
Yeah! No, but, like,
These are some
if it was
good-
enough to affect them, he should have been affected. And when he goes out, he's like, whoa. Whoa.
Oh man, I'm really feeling the force now. Whoa.
Like, that could have been a great joke, actually, and then he has to kind of try and shake it off. So then he finds Leia's real room, and she hits him right away. Okay, so this brings up the conversation about Leia being very casual about the situation she's in. That was in episode 1, and now it followed very much through in episode 2, where she's not worried at all. Now, a couple of things. You might say it's consistent with her character. She was able to talk down Darth Vader and talk smack to him, okay? And the leader, she's like... I should have expected someone holding someone's leash. And it's like, the more systems you squeeze, the more systems things. Like, she talks smack to some really powerful, dangerous people. you could say it's consistent with her character, but then the question is, would she really have that quality as a 10-year-old?
Funny face, like, "What's your tone, young lady? I'll send you back to your cell."
What I would
She was
have...
a prisoner at the time.
See, to me, by just giving her all the qualities that she supposedly had when she was older, and even more, she's force, sensitive, it's the Mary Sue trope again. They're just trying to make her... It would have been a really interesting arc if, in this story, this is where Leia learns to be fearless. Wouldn't it have been great if she was crippled by fear at the beginning, and through Obi-Wan helping her out, and there's this crucial moment where maybe she needs to help Obi-Wan in some way or anything like that, and she learns to overcome her fears, and she becomes the fearless Leia that we saw. That would have been a great arc!
Yeah.
But no, they have to be perfect right away.
Yeah. Well, she does have one disadvantage, one flaw. She can flip from being really, really smart to incredibly stupid like that.
Like instantly.
So there you go. But that was unintentional.
So yeah, because when Obi-Wan comes in, she just hits him thinking that he's a kidnapping bad person, and he has to convince her, no, I'm here to help you, and all that. But yeah, brought up that question. They break free, and they're walking through the town, city now, trying to get off planet, essentially. I forget the chronology of what actually happens structurally now, if this is where the Sith lady learns that they got free and then puts out the bounty on Obi-Wan, or if that happens after the conversation with the leader Sith. No, they're not Sith, they're Inquisitors.
Why not put it on him before he arrives, and also why not leave the bounty on him so that maybe they might find him in Tatooine?
Yeah.
They're looking for him.
But also the biggest point that you made before was, I think, if she was with Leia, then no matter what, she would meet Obi-Wan. But because she wasn't with Leia at all, she ends up having to chase them all.
Wow, you are absolutely right.
What was that?
You said before, if she just stayed with Leia, no matter what,
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Luke would, Obi-Wan would have showed up.
But they didn't because for some reason she arrived after Obi-Wan did, which makes no
She's
sense.
astoundingly incompetent.
Yeah.
Holy crap. This show, man. Like this is one of those crap mines. The more you dig, the more crap you find.
Yep.
I just started and then again and again and again to the point I'm now legitimately annoyed at how bad this episode is, because there are so many issues when you just start looking. It's like, oh my goodness, what? And so let's go to the conversation between the Inquisitor leader and her. They're trying to set her up as this underdog thing when she's so unlikable, especially the finale of this episode where but anyway, even here there's like, we mistreat you, and to me it felt like they're trying to get the audience to sympathize with this.
They said you came from the street. I'm just thinking that's
You're
profiling.
the least of us.
And then the fact that her plan worked, but then she's still punished for it. This is again like, see how hard done by she is. That was like,
Also a villain.
but the fact that her plan was stupid, but then again, she can't fail. Everything she does, even if it's really bad, will succeed. When there's some... Anyway.
It's literally just like flip-flopping from like stupid to okay, stupider. You know, it just keeps going like that.
Alright, and so then they basically tell her to stop doing work of trying to find Obi-Wan, but then she ignores the command and puts out the bounty on him to flush him out. The bounty comes on, and then there's... so, when does she decide that, like, you're not a Jedi? Oh, it's when he has to fight one of the bounty hunter guys, and she sees... Alright, so let's talk about this issue here. Why on earth would seeing his face, like on a wanted thing, make her distrust him?
Good question.
He literally rescued her from the bad guys.
He's a lot nicer than the bad guys.
Yeah, but here's the thing. In that one thing, she's like, okay, why is your face on a thing? And then she says, wait a minute, they only got me to get to you. But how do I know you're not one of the kidnappers?
How the hell did she... Again, she's doing... Is it the mind trick things? Like, how did she figure out, like, trying to get through to me to you? It's like, what?
Yeah, but then
Very
she's like...
smart 10-year-old.
But then she says, how do I know you're not one of the kidnappers? Because
How do I know that you're a Jedi?
Because you've just said that they've kidnapped you to get to me, and I have saved you from them, but...
And sorry, again, this is one of the shows where I think the writers think they're really clever because they probably thought, see the Chekhov's gun with the drugs that we put in his thing when there's no justification for the Chekhov's gun being placed there. He wouldn't accept drugs.
Why would he keep it?
And then they did another one. I bet they feel really smart. Where he's like, "Are you a Jedi? Oh, can you make me floats?" Again, they're setting something up there, but it's really like. Leia should, if she's smart, she would know how serious the situation is. Stop jumping around like, this is all fine. Let's have a joke. Let's like, if you're hiding that you're a Jedi, making me float in the middle of everyone might tip people off.
Or maybe, saying when in the galaxy Jedis are being hunted down and murdered, saying, "Are you a Jedi? Make me float!" Like
Where people, people can hear
in a city.
So there's all that dumb, right? And then, her reaction to the hologram is just bonkers. It's stupid. It's like, come off it. And then we get, the people making modern Star Wars love making horrible chase scenes.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad.
Because, like that chase scene in Boba Fett with the Vespa thieves was like the worst chase scene I think I've ever seen. Okay, the chase scene of Leia in the forest was laughably bad, where a guy just decides to walk into a branch that he sees, and it's like the people chasing him decide to just jog. They're not even. It's
next to the adults in this. Princess Leia is like Jason Bourne. She's just all over the place.
She's like a
flipping
Sonic. Speed.
Let's just go back on it because when it's reflected in this. You were going to say something, Leia?
Obi chased her with like zero urgency.
Yes, that's.
And they could have made it. They could have made she's little. She can run through legs, and people are getting in his way, and he's trying to push them away. And he's worried, but he doesn't seem worried.
There's a part a little bit she runs by him, and he goes, "Leia, come
Yes,
Yeah.
I was going to mention that. In this chase scene, because they're dealing with an actual real small actor who can't run very fast, everyone chasing her just needs to run really slow because in reality, it's so easy to like chase down someone that small with small legs and they can't run very fast.
Yeah.
And so in the... What?
Don't even have to look at me. I know.
In the forest, the guys are actually, you can see them running slowly to try and like do the thing. And in this as well,
They literally did the chase that I do when I'm chasing Thunder Warrior. That's what I'm like, ooh.
Exactly. And then that scene, there's actually a moment when she's like, the distance between Obi-Wan and her, she's like right here. And then she just runs off and Obi-Wan's like, he doesn't even reach.
He's literally like, oh, I missed.
It was laughably bad and unrealistic. And it's like, you're not, he just grabbed her by the arm, but no, it's like he's purposely trying to let her
I could've done
escape.
He's not
Force.
losing any patience whatsoever.
Well, because Jedis have patience.
But he's not Jedi right now.
Yes, he is. He has a lightsaber. Leia could figure it out.
Yeah, but he's not using his Jedi-ness.
But is he a Jedi? I thought it was a trap.
I thought he was like, he denounced being a Jedi.
No, that's
For
Luke.
now.
That's Luke.
So, but he wants to
Well-
train Luke. So it's all inconsistent. That's the
Yeah.
thing. And I actually think he shouldn't have been abandoning his Jedi's way because of context and other things in the canon, which Disney doesn't give a crap about.
You can't make sense of bad writing. You can't.
Well, no, I will
Well, as
try and make
Einstein
sense.
say,
And
can't argue with idiots.
They beat you
but
with
you can
experience.
expose them as idiots by arguing with them. And so sometimes I think there is very
Yeah, but even then, we've literally
When
had
you
arguments.
argue with an idiot, you both look like idiots.
But yeah, that too.
I don't wholly
Confucius.
agree. I think sometimes it's fun to see an idiot run around in circles when you just point out their inconsistencies.
Yeah, but people watching that will also think you're stupid.
No, like I
If you keep going on and on and on, over and over, around and round and round.
maybe if you
circles.
keep going. Like,
That's
Is
why
that what we're
chess
doing
is
now?
3D.
are we going around in circles?
No, because we're not both idiots arguing.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm glad.
thank goodness.
Yeah,
going
I'm
back-
here, guys. That's my job description.
So yeah, the chase, right? And then it ends up that she runs onto a roof.
She climbs a ladder.
She climbs the ladder, and then we get to the roof chase thing, and so there's some small gaps where she could jump over, and is chasing, and then suddenly he gets shot upon by the Velociraptor bounty hunter. It had like a dinosaur head.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I don't know if that's like a regular Star Wars thing, like just dinosaur aliens. Maybe they appear elsewhere.
Leia, stop running! Look, it's Barney. Why is Barney shooting us? You love me. You have a massive bounty.
So, all right. I did like, again, that's just my thing, that Obi-Wan wasn't a great shot, but then the other guys were horrible shots. It gets to the dumbest moment in the show for me, I reckon, is where
That's a tall order.
there's obviously a really large gap. Leia reaches it, and obviously she stops because she can't go anywhere. And then Obi-Wan's like, no, Leia, don't. But then another bounty hunter appears and shooting at him. And then at one point, Obi-Wan says, Leia, go! And I'm like, huh? But then, literally a couple of seconds later, he sees that she's on the edge, like, no, Leia, don't! It's like, Obi-Wan, what are you saying? Go, don't go.
Leia, hide.
Maybe. And then she decides to commit suicide? That's the only conclusion I can come to.
I think maybe she thought she'd be able to make it because child logic.
No, she's too smart for that.
How like, she stopped on that edge for a reason. There's no way in real anything,
Well, we had a theory.
even force power Mary Soonis, that you could justify her making
We
that
had a
leap.
theory. She's willing to go to extreme measures to get Obi-Wan to make it float.
But she didn't. She was running away because she literally thought he wasn't a Jedi.
Which is a hell of a gamble, isn't it?
So dumb. So no, she basically just commits suicide. That's the only conclusion I can reach now. Like, she jumps, and the jump wasn't even like a stretching jump trying to reach the other side. It's a falling jump where she just steps off. What are the writers thinking?
Maybe it's
like,
the squirrel
literally,
thing.
what do they think? What are they?
It was a squirrel thing.
Why not she try to climb down the edge of the wall, find a drain pipe or something?
Yeah, and then she could have fallen from that. That would have made sense.
Yeah, instead she just jumps off to die.
She's like, yahoo!
I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Maybe Obi-Wan still has some drug residue on him.
And suddenly, Obi-Wan only shot one of the bounty hunters. There's a robot one, and I think the robot one even had two guns, but even not, the robot one is still alive and was shooting at him. And suddenly, Obi-Wan jumps out of cover, stretches his hand, doing the whole thing, and this is like several stretches of seconds, and conveniently, the other bounty hunter just stops shooting.
Yeah.
In fact, that bounty hunter disappears completely until like, several moments have passed, and then he appears down the ground, and the fake Jedi shoots it. That's when he reappears.
Yeah.
But from that moment to this moment when Leia falls off, the guy just portals away. It's non-existent.
Also, like, those droids, they walk around like they have bloody no cartilage in their bones. How can they get down the full flight of stairs and...
Yeah, but like, look at the timing, right? He has to stretch forth his stretch, right? He does the thing. Not only does he stop Leia, save her, he has time to then get down off the building, all the way walk around and meet them on the ground. And this bounty hunter is just... my only conclusion is just watching.
He's like, aww.
He's like, he's got the guns. And then, because there's a stretch of time after he meets Leia, and Leia's like, you are a Jedi, whatever, that then he appears after. And so there's even who's writing this?
And somehow, is it Haji or Haja? Somehow the
Haji?
fake Jedi shows up and finds them.
Yeah, just conveniently finds exactly where they are. Oh, sorry, we missed something. I think it's easy that we missed it because it goes nowhere. Throughout all this thing, right?
Yeah.
The parkour, the
Parkour's going on.
the Inquisitor lady sees the shooting. Just conveniently, she was near enough to see the shooting, and she decides, just random roof that I'll stand on, because she expected this to happen. And then, from the distance, right, that it's shown where the shooting was and where she was, and the amount of parkouring she does, I felt like, all right, she's going to reach them just at the moment when Obi-Wan maybe does the Force thing or something like that. But no, they cut the... I think they even have the confrontation with the robot, and then it cuts back to her, and she's still doing parkour stuff, and then jumps down. She's doing parkour, jumps on the drain pipe, slides down, and runs into the fake Jedi.
And the guy's just like, by the way, I'm a Jedi, and she doesn't just kill him outright.
Yes, like, there is so much stupid here. Like, one, the random place I decide to jump down after my parkouring, the guy knew that she's going to choose to jump down, or is this the very same location where Obi-Wan did the falling? But how would she know that the Leia fell in that exact spot? It's all contrived garbage. And then, when she lands down, she says, get out of my way, which is so inconsistent. She just kill him.
Yeah.
There's a guy that's
She's
supposed to be
taken
Jedi.
off hands for less.
And then when she says, you're not a Jedi, it's like, okay, so I'm not going to, you're not...
The way she said it, she's like, you're not a Jedi? Like, really?
No, duh.
Obviously. There's more than one Sherlock Holmes in this episode.
What are you writing there, Claudia?
Notes.
Notes.
Yeah, she's our therapist.
Okay. This whole parkour build-up crap goes nowhere. What? You're just trying to say, look how cool she is?
Yep.
How just
It didn't
vapid,
even look
pointless.
like good parkour.
It wasn't even
It
good.
was fake. It looked really fake.
And it was hollow. It goes, no, if you're just trying to do this to make character look good, with no justification or reason to actually build up to something,
Maybe it was.
Another
Maybe
point that
she had a
Oz-
dream when she was little to do parkour.
To be a
And-
ballet dancer.
and you're right, a lot of it was unneeded, like
Yeah.
where she flips over something, she could just step. Like,
And a point Oz made when we were watching it was that she does this whole sequence of parkour not going anywhere, and Obi-Wan, we just cut to him being down the ground floor.
I
You didn't even
said
get
that.
any cool...
I said that.
Okay, sorry. Claudia
Yeah,
said
hey.
it. There's no cool force jump or parkour from Obi-Wan,
Just-
but Reva
It
gets a
just
whole
comes
segment.
from around the corner.
It's just so typical that a woman's incredible achievements are attributed to a man. Like, I can't believe 2022, man. Like, what?
but you were making
Thank
that
you.
point. You're so progressive, Oz.
I know.
Thank you
White
for
knight.
acknowledging the
Yes,
women's.
well, I said I wrote that down later. But he could have seen more of his using his forceness, jumping down from the roof, and maybe he has a soft landing, or maybe he does parkour down the side. It continues the fight as he's trying to escape
Yeah.
quickly. But he's just like, where are the stairs?
Yeah, because then the parkour would have had meaning. But with what Reva does, it just feels forced.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
But he just comes out from around the corner, and
Yeah.
Leia's still lying on the floor. How long did it take him to get to the floor?
Because-
Come
because-
down. How long
because-
did it take him to take the stairs?
He stopped it from being lethal, but wanted to knock her out so she'd
Yeah.
stay.
So what we see here is a blatant thing where they have gone out of their way to try and make this female, bad character look as cool as possible that goes nowhere and unjustified, and taken a moment that they could have given to Obi-Wan to make him look cool that was justified. He had needed to get somewhere desperately, and they slice it off completely. Like, this is, again, it's the woke mentality crap.
They didn't
It's,
even do it in a good way.
I know. And they are trying to make Leia and this Jedi, or not Jedi, Inquisitor lady look incredible. And they're forcing it. They're really desperate to try and make her look awesome, right? Especially in the confrontation where they try and make her sound like Darth Vader. Holy crap, was that awful. And then they are basically cucking Obi-Wan. They're weak. Like,
Wow, okay.
oh, all right, wrong term, but
Well,
when,
no. Look, you're right, but I just didn't expect it to be like, by the way, they're cucking over. Like, where'd that come from, mister?
But no, but they're making him far weaker than he should be for this point in his timeline. He should be training. He should still be Jedi focused. He should still be tough. And I'm kind of changing my opinion on the. He could be jaded, but the whole gone abandon everything thing contradicts canon.
They've looped him again.
And it's again because they can't have the main male character be heroic and everything. They've made him weak, and they've inflated these Mary Sue female characters because they just don't know how to write, and they have an agenda. And the agenda is very on display, and it's desperately on display for how far out of, field, how far they stretched to force in this parkour thing that literally does nothing. Come off it. Gosh. And again, I love it when cool, characters do cool things, male, female. I don't give a crap. Justify it, make it logical. Okay? It's just annoying. Can you see why this episode is...
We have been explaining it for quite some time.
Okay, so then, we're up to the point where she just appears, she runs into the guy, and it's out of... She should have just, thrown me against the wall first up, but it's like, you're not a Jedi, I'm going to now leave you in peace and try and walk past you, and then he actually steps in the way.
Yeah, he'd
She
be
would
dead
have
instantly.
chopped him off.
And also, she's chasing Obi-Wan. The whole point, why would you stop and what's the word, humour this retard?
Exactly!
I'd be like,
Why
does your...
did she jump off the roof?
Oh, yeah, she did at the point where...
The only thing that makes sense of this was where Leia fell, but then how does she
they're
know that?
long gone.
Force. Yeah, I know, exactly. It took her way too long to get there, and then she knows Leia fell there even though she wouldn't have been able to see, because Force powers, basically. The Force is now magical crap that we can do whatever we want. They did it in Rise of Skywalker where we can just do healing when we want to do healing. We can
literally
teleport
make
crap.
them teleport.
It is just random... Originally, the Force was really grounded and very specific in what it can do. And basically, it was mild telekinesis and telepathy. Both mild. Where the telekinesis is moving things at a distance, and so they even had that. Even though the first time you see someone pull something to them is in Empire Strikes Back, but the Force choking was the implication, and Vader does that in New Hope, that you can actually touch and manipulate things at a distance. And it wasn't easy, and it was grounded, and it had just restrictions to it. It worked really well. Now it's just magic.
Claudia can actually use the Force. The other day I was talking and she was just like, and I stopped. Because I felt embarrassed.
The power of shame.
How do you know the title of my book?
So, yeah. Random magical bullcrap. She can just find the location, and then this is, to me, like another... is it as bad as Jump the Shark moment? But to me, it was just like, are you kidding me? She reads the guy's mind. It's
Well,
like, where
Kylo
is...
Ren can do it.
What?
Yeah, but Kylo Ren's a Sith Lord.
This is...
A Sith Lord?
Yes.
If, one, I don't like that they did that in the sequels, right? It shouldn't be like... Vader was... like sensing the emotions that were flowing off Luke to then pick up on Leia, okay? That was in extreme circumstances where he literally says your feelings betray you. If you can like focus on something else, everything like that, it should be much harder to read people's minds. Vader was only, and again, this is Vader we're freaking talking about. So that Kylo Ren can actually pull, things out of people.
Literally the highest midichlorian count that the Jedi had ever seen until that point.
Right? And then, so I don't like that Kylo does it, but now we're dealing with an Inquisitor, which should be Force-like. These guys are not well-trained, they shouldn't be tough, and she whips out something that technically the strongest Force users would only be able to do. And it's even easier for her than Kylo Ren, and I didn't even like when Kylo Ren did it. Kylo Ren is like struggling, trying to get the thing.
It's funny. When she was asking for information on Tatooine, she was cutting arms off instead of, using the powers.
Yeah, and the thing is, she just lifts up the arm and gets everything she needs. If you wanted to pull this story out somehow where she gets the information from her, she could have done the Force mind trick. This guy seems weak of mind, and is like, you will tell me where Obi-Wan is.
And that would be conceptually symmetrical with the fact that he pretended to use one before.
Yeah!
There you go.
But no, she's a Mary Sue. They just bullcrap everything where it's just like, I can read your thoughts, pull them out instantly, which also creates a massive friggin' plot hole. If she suspected Uncle Owen before...
Yep, use it on him.
Why interrogate anyone now?
Yep.
Yeah, like, the first Jedi that they captured when she had the thing...
That's what happens when you break the rules.
Exactly. Inconsistent garbage. And again, they did it because they were so desperate to make her look awesome. And it just makes me hate this character that's not earned anything, and she's also obnoxious and like unlikable
and comically villainous, where she's like, "Hey, Obi, I found you!" Ha ha ha!
I wrote down one of her lines.
Really slow.
It was really cringe. She goes, "I don't want you to catch him. I want you to squeeze him."
That's what I was saying before about the weird one-liners.
It's like,
and then you said something about wanting to squeeze Ewan McGregor.
I did not.
You did. I looked
did
at you.
not.
I saw it. Your feelings betray you.
So they justify the Inquisitor lady being able to find Obi-Wan. How does the Inquisitor leader then find them after?
I guess he
what, did he find the fake Jedi as well? I don't know. He just appears.
He just used the Force.
Do they have tracking on the other Inquisitor people, or no? They don't explain it. He just appears. Force magic.
He shows up. He's like, "Damn it, Reva, you're a loose cannon. I want your lightsaber and your badge
he
now."
says this. Damn it, Reva, you're a loose cannon.
And then she's just
and
like,
then the other goes,
"Oh yeah," the other guy whispers. And then Reva says, "I cannot help it," and she's let go because that pleases him.
And also, let's not overlook the fact that the Inquisitors can lock down an entire planet's transportation instantly. Okay, fine. It's a bit unjustified, but they're members of the Empire. This is an Empire-controlled planet. But then if they lock down the entire, they just decide to overlook the cargo ships. It's like Obi-Wan says, the planet's locked down. Not the automated cargo things, because clearly, no one uses it.
So dumb.
So dumb. This is astronomically dumb.
So automated cargo, that's happening, why have ships at all? Like, why have people in ships ever?
They could have just
That-
had people stationed there and not had people stationed at the cargo ships, which is why you could go
But
there.
if-
It's not locked down transportation.
If it's an automatic one with no people on it, does it need an atmosphere or life support?
Does it need a door for humans to even go
Good
in?
point.
Yeah, they
Very-
should have
these are
sealed
No
themselves.
oxygen.
Yeah, and look, there is a larger issue with Star Wars in regards to its consistency on AI, droids, automation, and the human element. Like, if you have... Technically, a computer should be able to target way better than a human. So what's the point of having human actual gun turrets and stuff? And they don't justify it if it's a budget thing or anything like that, because droids are everywhere in this series. And so, yeah, that criticism actually applies even more broadly than this episode, but even in this episode, it applies. And they don't shut... Like, how retarded would you have to be where we need to not let him off the planet and we'll shut down everything apart from cargo, automated cargo things? They'll never think of that. And the funny thing is, Obi-Wan doesn't think of it, but then the guy's like... It seems... It's kind of funny. It's like Obi-Wan took it for granted that if they're going to shut down transportation on the whole planet, well, obviously they would have shut down the automated cargo thing. He's like, oh, no, they're still going.
Also,
Are they?
if she got the info like maybe 30 seconds off of the fake Jedi as to where they were going, where Haja sent them, why not just parkour back up the building and get to the thing first? I guess that wouldn't have helped either. Yeah.
And so they get to the whatever cargo station place. There's a line where Obi-Wan's like, "You remind me of someone," and he's sad, and it's like,
Your mother was annoying too.
I think that could go either way. That could probably, people might like that scene. I'm undivided. I am divided on it because, again, it's Leia being inconsistent. She's so smart and clever, and then it's just make up your mind. Even though I fully admit you could have justified her being a young prodigy, smart girl, but then she acts so dumb. So, okay, wait, there is a line I like where it's like, you're a stubborn one. I'm not stubborn. Yes, you are. I'm not stubborn.
Yeah, we laughed at that too.
like,
Yeah,
good.
that's a good line.
Good line, Like, yeah. So bad lady appears, and then her delivery of these lines: "Your fear betrays you. You don't have to worry. I'm not going to kill. You're not going to die." Yeah, so like, the delivery was just felt so weak. Like, she is not intimidating in any measure.
Yeah.
Like,
It's because it's forced.
and they even went, "I'm not going to kill you." It's like there was no real menace in it. It's just, it was crap. Utter crap.
Almost like the actress doesn't know the universe she's playing in.
Do you have further comments on that, Nathan?
Well, she doesn't know what Inquisitor is.
In an interview.
Apparently in an
She-
interview she said doesn't like Star Wars.
I've even heard, this was just a headline, so I don't know the context, that she even said that her character is stronger than Darth Vader or something like that. Like, they get actors that don't have a true appreciation of the material and plays
Well,
in...
to be fair, they're hiring people to do a job, but they could have at least informed her of what she was doing.
Yeah, but actors typically research the role they're playing so they know how to play it.
Like,
Yeah.
Hayden Christensen watched the whole Clone Wars trilogy to get ready for his role back as Darth Vader.
Yeah, well, to be fair, that guy needs the work.
But it just shows difference from two actors. One's
Yeah.
like, I don't know what I'm doing. Other one's like, I've already acted as this character, but I've got to catch up to what I need to be as the standard.
But also, it feels like, are these writers so incompetent that they think that they can try and copy-paste or mimic the lines Darth Vader has, give it to another character, and do no other work or heavy lifting, and think it's going to have the same effect?
Yeah.
Like, your feelings betray you, like...
That came
Listen-
from James L. Jones.
Exactly. When Darth Vader
Your
says
feelings
it,
betray you.
it's powerful.
Yeah.
And there's also other elements that add to the intimidation factor. Darth Vader's tall, imposing, strong. He has deep voice and everything
He's
like that.
covered head to toe in black metal and buttons and...
Give it to a shorter female who doesn't have a menacing voice, and she's like, "Your feelings betray you."
Yeah.
Oh, come
Darth
off
Vader
it.
was made so menacing. Like, he steps into a room, you can hear him breathing.
Exactly.
And it's terrifying.
It's a masterclass for villainy. Just
Yeah.
this breathing is a cue, which they do use in this episode,
Yeah.
by the way, later on, is a cue for holy crap,
And he's got, like, literally, and I mean this literally, killer puns. Because when he kills someone, he usually uses a pun.
Sometimes, like, even like when he
Literally.
all too easy.
Don't choke on your aspirations as he's force choking someone. A guy comes to apologize for a failure, he kills him and says, apology accepted. This dude he should be a comedian. I wonder what the open mic night on bloody Death Star's like. Well, it's probably pretty dead now.
Darth Vader has character. Like, even... this woman is just over the top. Mary Sue, she can do everything. She's evil and... nothing works. And look, you could have a menacing female villain. I'm not saying you can't, but she can't pull it off. Like, who is the evil Sith in the Clone Wars? She's got the two lightsabers. And
something.
Anyway, she had menace, right? She looked menacing and But this is supposed to be our antagonist of this show. It's crap, and she is so unlikable. You just know that they're going to make a redemption arc for her. This is the feminist writer insert. And, that's my prediction. I hope I'm wrong, because I don't want it to go that way, but it was utter crap. And then, yes, the head Inquisitor guy appears, and...
it's the bar scene all over again. Stops her for what she's doing, and the dude gets away.
But it's both of their fault. He literally says, I will show you how it's done. And he's in the process of going to do some force thing to move aside and find it. And then she kills him. And it's the action of killing him is the thing that Obi-Wan takes as the moment to escape. So the Inquisitor was right. It's like, you're going to let him escape again. Yeah. She's incompetent. But he's incompetent because he just basically stares there, lets himself get stabbed.
That scene, they missed a perfect opportunity to have a lightsaber fight. Could you imagine if Obi-Wan took them both on? And then maybe Leia saw it and was like, okay, you're a Jedi, I trust you now. Yeah. That would have been awesome. Just imagine that. She's hunting him down, he's sneaking right, and then a blue lightsaber ignites.
And it could be a device for her to have a character arc. She realizes how weak she is, and realizes how arrogant she's been, and sets her on a mission to get stronger.
Yeah, and losing to him, losing to Obi-Wan would cement that hatred.
But these female characters, they have to be perfect. We can't give them flaws, right? Also, they have neutered Obi-Wan so much that if they had to fight, they'd beat him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Obi-Wan's going to struggle beating this weak, pathetic Inquisitor when Inquisitors are supposed to be crap. And Obi-Wan... I like it. It's annoying me.
The only people she's defeated have been literally a woman on a desert planet has lost her arm.
You can't be here.
Completely defenseless. And then who was the other dude? A guy was completely distracted.
But Oz, she can do parkour.
Oh, she can do parkour. Yeah,
she's going to be amazing.
She couldn't catch anyone with it though.
Yeah, she couldn't use it to get to where she needed to go fast enough. But anyway, so the Inquisitor just stands there, takes it. I've heard that this causes continuity issues because this guy actually appears in Rebels later. Maybe
he survives. Yep. If Maul can get caught...
He had to be removed so that she could have the big arc and powerful and be the leader.
She needs to be in control.
Because if he's in control,
maybe
then
he'll
she
survive,
can't be.
and it'll be like a three-way chase. She's chasing Obi, and they're chasing her.
Yeah, the last thing we want in Star Wars is a three-way chase.
And
there's different versions of Star Wars where that happens.
And so, so now we get to the Anakin is alive moment. First, she's just reading his mind. You don't know. You don't know. Where did she get that? She literally just read his mind.
Maybe she found a connection between them in the archives.
It's just...
These archives, I'm telling you.
All right, discussion. How much public knowledge would it be that Anakin is Darth Vader? Because...
probably wouldn't want anyone knowing.
I think it's only Palpatine and a few other Inquisitors would know.
See, I know that there are comics. I know there are comics when a whole heap of Jedi try and kill Darth Vader, and he takes them on all and wipes them out. And I thought the Jedi actually knew that Anakin was Darth Vader still. That
some clone troopers suspected.
I could understand why Obi-Wan thinks Anakin is dead. He did leave him in a pretty horrid situation. So that's why I could kind of go either way. But then you have, the Emperor, who everyone knows, has been the leader of the Republic and then becomes the Emperor. And then suddenly gets this right-hand man who is this really powerful Sith, Darth Vader, that's doing all his work and everything. And... do the Jedi know what happened? So it could go either way. It's hard for me to say.
But if the last time you saw someone who was this, dashing young man who was really good at flips and stuff, and he had a blue lightsaber,
it's
this cripple who's wearing all black and he's got a red. No, I don't. You know.
So maybe, yeah, no one knows that Anakin is.
And to go from Hayden Christensen voice to James Earl Jones voice.
Yeah, and look, it is pretty well established that Obi-Wan is pushing the story that Anakin Skywalker died and was killed by Darth Vader in A New Hope. So, all right, I could go with no one should really be knowing that Anakin and Darth Vader are the same person. Then it does make you wonder, how does she know? And people are saying she might be one of the younglings. But the thing is, that doesn't flesh out either. If you see Anakin falling to the dark side, killing all the younglings, you didn't see him as Darth Vader. And if the next thing you heard about Anakin Skywalker, that he was defeated by Obi-Wan on...
Well, no one knows that. No one knows that. Obi-Wan just went there and left. Like, where was the drone that was recording it, you know?
Yeah, good point. Good point.
The camera, that's why I saw episode 3, it was the drone footage of them fighting on Mustafar.
Look out, Chief, the cameraman.
Oh, sorry, it's funny. I saw like a little meme where Palpatine like finds Anakin just and he walks and he's looking. Tell me where it hurts.
It's a bit rare for my taste.
Okay, so maybe, but again, how does she know? Okay? What really bothers me about this looks like they are setting up in this series a confrontation between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader.
Yeah, we made this joke already.
Well, friggin' hell.
Presence.
I thought Kathleen Kennedy said they're going to have 2 fights. 2 big fights.
When we last met, I was but a pupil, but now I am the master. Mean spit! Come friggin' off it.
That was last week. Vader.
After season 8 of Kenobi.
I started doing leg day.
I can't stand it. It's like, this is one of the biggest contradictions of canon, if they're going this way. Friggin' hell. Oh, and by the way, there's a small contradiction that I'm not sure they're... So, in A New Hope, by what Leia says, it really sounds like she's never met Obi-Wan. It's like, General Kenobi, you served with my father during the Clone Wars.
Yeah, not General Kenobi. You saved my life.
Yes,
that one time.
like, remember me?
But all she knows right now is that his name's Ben.
Exactly, so...
As long as they keep that...
If they do not have that, Obi-Wan reveals he is Obi-Wan to Leia, that one could skid by. I'm not
but
fully on board.
The fact that she said they've only used me to get to you and all that, like...
It's But if Obi-Wan meets Darth Vader at any point before New Hope, that is utter friggin' crap.
She can, however, meet Tarkin. She can meet Tarkin. She knew Tarkin, like, personally.
Okay, there we go. And this, just the whole reveal of, Anakin is alive. And it really sets up, like, his next thing is going to hunt down Anakin now. It's like... this friggin' show. They don't care. And what if this contradiction of lore is a setup for them remaking the original trilogy?
They wouldn't dare, Shad.
This is Disney.
They
are money-grubbing vampires. They will pull out a corpse and bastardize that thing in front of you for the money.
That's when they'll see my dark side. And everyone else's dark side, because Star Wars fans are ruthless.
That's when leave Star Wars alone!
Like, if they touch... Like, the fact that they're making new stuff, we kind of leave them alone and say, okay...
They're already bastardizing the corpse with what they've, making. This Obi-Wan series is that. And if they're willing to do that, I reckon they'd... Because they've already remade some of the original trilogy in animated shorts, and they make Luke Skywalker look like a bumbling retard in it. So there's an animated short, a remake of the bridge scene on the Death Star, and Leia is kicking friggin' butt, and Luke Skywalker is like, yeah. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. They're going to remake the original trilogy and have Leia be the main character.
I mean, at this point, they kind of already had with their inserts, like... They're remaking things, breaking, breaking,
Well, you know what the next Star Wars movie is going to be? It's going to be made by, what's his name? Taika
Waititi.
He's making the next Star Wars
Can't
movie.
wait.
So you can bet it's going to be a comedy fest. Yeah, it's going to be
he'll play a clone. He'll self-insert himself as a clone.
Yeah.
I do think that it could... Obi-Wan...
Sorry, he'll be like, piss off, Force Ghost! Sorry, Claudia, you
I
go.
was going to say, I do think that it could benefit from getting some of the lightness and joy back from the original series. It's not serious, but this series, Obi-Wan Kenobi, is starting to take itself a little seriously.
Yeah, and to be
Maybe.
fair, he did in Ragnarok at least. He did have some emotional beats in it.
Yeah, I'm
Which
not
worked.
saying he is
but he's
going to
gonna
make it
workify
better,
it.
but I'm saying in general it could do with some more lightness.
What else
more
is?
happiness.
What else
I
has he
don't
done?
know. See, Star Wars had the original trilogy did have a seriousness that I felt was important to the
But also had a
story.
camp.
But it wasn't taking
The,
itself
the,
too
the,
seriously.
the levity wasn't campy. Like, there was jokes
Oh
here and
no,
there.
Shad. Look, okay, I know that this might be hard for you because you're you, but camp is ever present in Star Wars. We can always feel it. It surrounds
Camp
us.
is with you.
Makes things grow.
I'm talking about the original trilogy.
Yes, so am I.
The jokes
And also the
were more
designs
grounded.
are fun. The designs are fun. The fun characters, fun little robots, fun, like
Yeah, toys they can sell.
C-3PO and D2. Wait, R2-D2.
If you're gonna call
They're
him
fun.
shorthand, it's R2.
They're fun robots. You've got fun characters. There's some fun in it.
D2.
I'm
That's
not
like
saying. Yeah, I'm not
that's
saying.
calling him Brooks.
To me, there's a difference between the levity they had in the prequels to the levity they had
yeah.
in the original trilogy.
They fly now.
Yeah, those are the sequels.
Oh,
But look at
that was
look at Jar Jar Binks and how out of place.
Was he French?
No, Jar Jar B. He was so out of place. He was just a clown.
Instead of Misa, it's Monsieur.
But the original trilogy had a seriousness. It took itself seriously. That's how I feel how they were able to reach such important emotional payoffs in the confrontation between Luke and Vader and all that.
Yeah, but it also had a campy levity.
It had a levity. I wouldn't go so far to call it.
Camp is good, though.
Even if you say campy, nowhere near as far as the prequels and what Taika Waititi would do.
I completely disagree.
No, Taika Waititi, there are moments when things should be serious, and Marvel just friggin' loves to just
No, that's
just
not camp, though.
slap seriousness out of the window
That's not what
with a
camp is.
joke that is out of place.
That's not what camp is, though. Camp is like, it's the finest possible line you can
The
walk.
definition.
Yeah, get the definition of camp.
Ostentatious, exaggerated, affected, theatrical.
Can you get that in a 5-year-old explanation,
So
please?
not necessarily.
See, to me, that
Not
describes Jar Jar
necessarily-
Binks.
No, but that's not necessarily comedy or slapstick comedy. It's
But-
theatrical.
I didn't say it was.
Shakespeare is theatrical, but serious.
But Shad was saying that it's like Marvel, how they put jokes in every couple of seconds.
Yeah,
they
that's
slap
what
the
I'm
seriousness
saying,
out of it. No, campiness for me is more of a vibe and less of a how many jokes we can put in.
Like
Campiness is
when you had the
Maybe.
it's almost cringe. It's not though. But
Okay,
it's almost.
But that's what I'm referring to. It's like out of place humor. That's what Taika Waititi would do with a Star Wars thing.
probably.
And it's
But-
like, we don't.
As long as you can balance it out, if it's not too comedy or too like
You can
know?
have jokes, but the original trilogy are so good for a reason, and their jokes worked well within the thing. Like, Han Solo when he's chasing the soldiers. She's like, that's great. It worked, and it didn't take away from the serious tone. Like it had humor that suited the tone really well, and so anyway.
goes this deep in depth. Whereas like at the very end of the credits,
Oh,
Yeah.
really? You want to show them that?
So-
So these are the usual credits for visual effects person, director, Ewan McGregor doing ex-producer or whatever.
for it.
Okay, nice big credits. You can see everyone's names
Makeup
and what they
designer.
do.
Yeah,
Like
designer.
they've got the makeup and
Co-producer,
co-producer, all this in massive
consulting
writing.
producers.
Then wait for it. Wait for
So,
it.
small
Wait for
writing.
it.
There's special things to do for it.
Oh, costume designer, blah blah blah, makeup artist, blah blah blah.
Thanks, Dave.
I just found it so weird because I was watching it at home and I was like, who did what? Oh, Dave. Oh, thanks.
Lucky you had your glasses on.
It
That
seemed
point.
like they're very reluctant to acknowledge him there.
Yep.
Look, I'm sorry. Some of the episodes that he made in Mandalorian was awful. But his main thing is the Clone Wars, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And Rebels. He did both of
almost go
those.
a bit either way with old Dave.
Yeah, just like Lucas.
Yeah. Well, he was Lucas's prodigy. Mm-hmm. George hired him and said, "You're going to be the next George."
I do think Star Wars would be in better hands with Dave than it is with Kathleen Kennedy. but he has made some astounding crap as well. So
Maybe it was Kathleen's fault. Who knows?
yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Oh man, Jeremy's gonna have some things to say about this. Kathleen Kennedy's position in. Bloody hell.
So yeah, Kenobi went off a cliff in this episode.
Went off a cliff. Shad. It was
He parkoured down the cliff.
no.
There was more for me to enjoy and appreciate in episode 1 than episode 2.
Star Wars is at the bottom of the
I
cliff.
agree. Star Wars as a whole is.
They need to show me something good to have it.
The Grand Canyon.
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh. And this, I'm annoyed. They're insulting, and they have neutered Obi-Wan. Disney does not deserve Star Wars. They despise, they legitimately have a problem, and they dislike the main, male heroes. They hate Luke Skywalker with a passion almost.
Well, they hate all the male leads.
Like Kathleen
with
Kennedy
passion.
didn't even want Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian, and they had to sneak it in around her back almost. It's like,
That'd be a good decision, I'd say.
They snuck it in really well, barely recognised him.
Yeah. What's this thing wearing Luke Skywalker's face?
let us know what you think in the comments below. And do one of you guys want to read this one?
Yes. And remember, use the Force.
Nathan, do you want to say this?
Claudia, please save us
Oh,
from this.
fuck, I did it wrong, crap. And remember, may the Force be with you.
And remember, stay watchful.
She used the Force.
Ugh.